Hi, Dr. Caxton Perry here. Good morning and good day wherever you are around the world. I felt it was important to share with us, particularly those who are listening and watching this drama unfold about COVID-19 treatment strategies, and reminding you, number one, that if you're a practicing physician, that you should get a copy of Physician Treatment Strategies. Like I said earlier, you can at this point spend tens or 20 hours or 40 hours trying to put pieces of journals together. Many of them are actually biased, and you're not going to get the information that you need. So I'm providing here a little chart to show the difference between prescription writer, a prescription writer, and a medical doctor. See, physicians are not just prescription writers. Some people who are taking some medicines additively have found out when they go to an actually good doctor who helps them taper off some of these unnecessary medications. A prescription writer is totally different from a medical doctor. You see, that distinction is important. And I think the WHO, CDC, FDA, and they think that they've done a lot with the hospital associations. They've pushed us so far down on the power scale in the healthcare system that someone with a master's degree in something in the healthcare profession may actually have more clout and make more decisions than doctors who actually take care of patients and know how the entire system ought to work. But nevertheless, that's a secondary issue. At this point, we have a pandemic on our hands, and it seems like some people are obstinate about manipulating the system in such a way that Big Pharma or whoever can now take advantage of this predicament in people. So I want to share with you the differences between a prescription writer and a medical doctor. In my last video, I shared the hierarchy of information, how we gather information as doctors. We do anatomy, biochemistry, physiology. Before that, we take maths, physics, advanced physics. We take all these courses so that at the time we're making this tiny decision at the top of that pyramid, the foundation is so solid that we don't veer away too much, if at all, from the actual scientific principles governing our decision to treat with a disease. Treat a disease with a particular agent. So what's a prescription writer versus a medical doctor? Why that? Because there's too much drama out there, I said. A prescription writer understands English. That's all you need to be a prescription writer. A prescription writer can read and write. Again, like I said, you want to write a prescription, that's all you need. But a medical doctor doesn't just understand English, read or write. The prescription writer needs a diagnosis. They desperately need it. You see, if you're trained, a medical doctor, sometimes all you get is a pathology report, you get a biopsy report, you get some things, and based on that, you can decide to start your treatment, because that first distinction and the second distinction that separates a medical doctor from a prescription writer, I'm going to share two with you. The first is that we as doctors have a certain mastery of the human body and human psyche, as well as disease processes. And not only that, we understand disease processes. That's what makes us doctors. Anyone can be given a diagnosis and be given a prescription pad and say, whenever you get a report and this report says this is the diagnosis, then go ahead and write the script. You can write Zithromax 500 milligrams once a day for 3 days or for 5 days for pneumonia, and adrosephin 1 gram every 24 hours for the same pneumonia for the same patient, if they're not penicillin allergic, for 5 days, and admit them to hospital. And the prescription writer, who has never been to medical school or even the science class, can actually write a prescription. I want you to note that distinction. So a prescription writer really needs no experience except how to sign their name on a pad. But a doctor develops clinical experience right from the time they begin to get exposed to the fundamentals of medicine and science. So the prescription writer can lack the fundamentals of medical sciences and still be able to prescribe, while the doctor is well grounded in the medical sciences. A prescription writer can only prescribe what others recommend, whereas a medical doctor can formulate an adequate and appropriate treatment strategy based on their knowledge of the disease process. And for that, we look at COVID-19, for example. If you're well grounded, if you're not just a prescription writer, even when you think hydroxychloroquine doesn't work, the issue is just like Black Lives Matter, Someone say white lives matter, some says white silence is violence. The point there is, even if you say hydroxychloroquine doesn't work, you as a medical doctor, if you know you're not just a prescription writer, or whoever that prescription writer is, should be able to say, although hydroxychloroquine doesn't work, but we have tried tocilizumab, cyclonosat, and a few other things, and we know that based on the pathophysiologic mechanisms, they should work, and you'll get some results. The next thing I want to share with you is a prescription writer will not prescribe a useful treatment if the news is biased against that treatment, whereas a medical doctor will carefully review the evidence systematically and decide what to do. A prescription writer doesn't care who dies. Many of us as doctors came into this because we are compassionate, we care, and we have the energy and the heart to serve people and make sure we preserve lives. And therefore, we care who dies. Some people don't really care. Have a wonderful day. Dr. Caxton Perry.